Thank you. All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's definitely not the reason why I'm rooting for Homebois, because, I literally just realized. But let's go into the first drafting phase, game number 1 of this best of 3 series between the last non-PH region Homebois from Malaysia against Blacklist International. You do see that Homebois is going to have first pick here with the Matilda and the Valentina being banned out. Blacklist have responded with a Joy and a Nolan. I'm wondering whether or not a Aramis will be left open alongside with maybe even an Angela.
Usually it seems like the Aramis, in recent times at least, that just seems to be the problem right here. Homeboys are even banning away the Lilia, what can be used to try and out-damage and just crush that Nether Realm in the middle of a big team fight. Logically, I feel like Blacklist will ban it, but hey, Blacklist is, I feel like it's not cool. It's not weird at all for them to let it go and try and experiment to find a way to shut it down, to turn this Faramis from a surefire win weapon into a bit more of just a possibility.
And now looking at the way Homebois wants to play it, it is still that King of the River playstyle that we've actually seen many times before from Homebois in MPL Malaysia, even in their wins yesterday. That's how they were able to get the dub in the early game all the way, but they were not able to fully close the game out. That's the only problem for them. It seems like with the Lilia ban, they're trying to take away a lot of mid-control from the machine, Aji.
Yeah, he's no longer the Kada machine.
No,
the machine now.
He's just the machine.
Just the machine. Oh my god.
And he's out.
He's not even here.
Well, the machine. We'll have to see, man. For Homebois now, going with that box, yeah. It's interesting because, we were talking about the Faramis so much, but it's not even first picked. They want to go for that really fast playstyle. And we've seen what Chibi can do when he's just rolling around, just styling on the haters.
I would have imagined maybe even a Martis that Homebois would like to go for. We saw that Chibi is a very strong jungler when he's given a power hero like a Martis, but he goes for something different like a Baxia. It kind of works the same way. You get really good rotations in. But for Blacklist, they will respond with a Bruno and a Novaria pickup.
The Bruno and the Novaria. Faramis completely ignored in the second series. Meanwhile, in the entirety of knockout stages, it's been Faramis, Faramis, Faramis. Ban or pick. Now, it's a WANWAN pickup early on, and then Angela to combo it together. Homebois want to go in. That's the hyper Homebois we know.
But Mirko, we were talking about earlier that the Faramis is actually quite the legitimate counter for the WANWAN. Yes, the Novaria is picked up, but knowing Blacklist, they can very easily flex it around, have Homebois just went too fast here. Turns out it should be fine. It's going to be an Akai picked up first for now. But here you have a fun fact. Wanda would never trash talk or throw trash at the airport. What a nice guy.
What a...
Wait, what?
What an average dude. I mean, I think that's an average thing to do, right? I mean, would you throw trash?
Well,
trash
the trash talk is like not an average dude thing.
More of like a Moreno, Zorn type of thing to do, trash talk.
Yeah.
But the not littering part is like...
Zorn did it.
Zorn littered?
Well, no, did it. Well, he didn't trash talk, but he was like...
Oh, the trash talk part. I thought we were talking about the airport.
Oh, I mean...
I thought you were talking about the trash.
Do you litter at the
part.
airport? I don't think I litter at the airport.
Well, moving on from this very interesting topic for now.
Fun fact. No, I'm just saying, that was a fun fact.
Absolutely was. We'll see, man. I think the fact that the Faramis is not prioritized right here comes down to the different style that both these teams play as well. It's not exactly a death ball. Homebois makes plays individually all around the map. They don't always corral together to find safety in numbers. The Blacklist, they're thinking there's still a possibility. They respect it anyways.
Alright, yeah, the Faramis gets taken out here by Blacklist International. And for Homebois, with the Diggy being banned out, that shows us that they want to have a certain layer of protection over the WANWAN. Because as you know already, that the Diggy has the ability to take away the weakness points coming in from the WANWAN, so they want to be able to enable that, especially with the Angela, who can actually support or give a hard guard over to the Baxia, or even the WANWAN at times. The next ban that they go for is the Minotaur. Why did they go for the Minotaur ban here?
I think they just want to make sure that when they go in with a dive, they have a box show 1-1. It's gonna be a very divey by default. And even the Angela, when you have that hard guard, of course it's the healing, it's the slow, and it's the shielding initially. But it's also the movement speed that can be used to just go all the way to the back line, and especially with the WANWAN, to trigger the crossbow tank. If she's going through that and gets hit by the Minion Fury, that could mean disaster for them. But for Blacklist, they found an alternative right here. They have the heavy spin, they have the Edith as well. It's a lot of crowd control that comes out in an instant. Homeboys definitely need to respect this. Find a way to chip them away from far away, or just find ways to avoid a lot of this crowd control to begin with.
So what's the answer here for Homeboys? Do they want to go for even more initiation, double down on that against the Edith, or do they want to actually go for more utility? We've seen from See You Soon as well that the Angela can still be utilized in the mid lane. Doesn't need to be 100% a roamer. It's already a very good roamer, by the way, but again, with a WANWAN, we did see this kind of strategy as well from Blacklist yesterday against, who was Blacklist when they won? Rebellion. With the WANWAN, a full cover composition for the WANWAN. As he does damage, no, Homeboys don't want to cover. They want to go in with the WANWAN. It's the Yuzong and the GROCK as well. All of them want to dive. And fun fact, it happened. Angela again, going to be flexed into the mid lane, not going to be the roamer.
I think it's going to be the GROCK for sure here. With immunity right there, he is a lot safer from the heavy spin, from the Earth Shatter onward combo. But not for Blacklist. Final reveal.
Power of light and
Okay, so they go for Kaja. So they're securing a secure CC source of their own. But I think Warlord is still going to be able to pick up the GROCK. Zorn is going to be the Angela. But as we all know, we saw it in the group stage that they're able to switch it up. We saw it last time with the Kadita and the GROCK. Now we're seeing it with the GROCK Angela.
Wow.
Meanwhile, for the audience prediction, both from Indonesia as well as the Philippines think that it is going to be Blacklist International winning it out in this best of 3 against Homeboys.
Wow, interesting, right? You would expect a little bit of a shift there for Indonesia. They were actually rooting half of them for See You Soon earlier, but now they're going full Blacklist.
They're like, no, let's just be realistic.
Let's be realistic.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Is Blacklist the realistic prediction here?
I would say so. But, you know, expect the unexpected from Malaysian teams.
In best of ones especially.
But this is a best of 3.
Is it?
It's a... I think so.
Maybe they'll turn
Is it a best
into-
of 5?
If they equalize, it turns into a best of 1. Hey, technically, there's a chance it does come down to a best of 1. So expect the unexpected, think the unthinkable, and witness the unwitnessable.
One team will move forward, and one team will have to say goodbye to MPLI 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome you into the first game of this best of 3 series. The Malaysian Homeboys versus the Filipino Blacklist International.
Will the top 4 of MPLI 2023 just be MPLPH Season 12.5?
Well, looking at the lanes right here, Warlord indeed is on that GROCK, so it's Zorn on the Angela. Interesting to see how this works, especially in the early game. They have a Baxia, but without the right backup. I mean, the Angela is great, the GROCK right now also a Warlord, going very deep.
Again, already very, very aggressive in the early stage of the game. GB walks up, wants to go for the Retribution here up against Rindo, and GB does get it, steals it away from Rindo. Does that mean it's worth it, Arashi? A purple buff for a kill onto the roamer.
I think it's not as fatal, considering it's an Akai, not exactly an assassin that could really benefit from the lower cooldowns, etc. But it's definitely going to be a bit of a dent in the farming speed, and against a Baxia, that can prove to be very important later on. Going to contest the first turtle without a heavy spin. Not exactly the wisest of choices.
Okay, with that being said, again, Warlord still being the aggressive force that he is, giving information once again. One of his main strengths therein lies in this ability. He actually is able to chunk Haji a little bit down here. And now I start to understand the Angela and the GROCK mid lane combination. The fact that, okay, maybe the Angela can't clear as fast as Hajim and Avaria, but with the speed clear coming in from Warlord, it should help. But the Path is actually the one to help clear it out too.
Yeah, the wave clear was nerfed for Angela. It doesn't do as much to the minions. But look at this, man. The setup advantage, the level advantage too. Easy, secure by Chibi. This is a Warlord.
That's a hard guard to help him out with the shield unity and a black dragon form as well. They do not like Kimpoi. My goodness, a full dive for the roamer. It's another furious dive of the Petrify landing onto Dominic, but with the Primal Wrath, a bit too hard to really burst him down under the tier 1, so they'll just take Kimpoi.
All right, another trade here coming through for the Homebois, signaling that they are going to be able to pick up the speed in terms of economy for the in-game emblems, however.
Inspire on the WANWAN. Inspire on the WANWAN for more cooldowns. Technically, a lot more leaning prowess there with more skills to use out. It's in line with the mentality of RAZIELL, I feel. A lot more outplay-minded. Soren also with the Inspire and the Wilderness Blessing, though. He needs to be around the map as much as possible. Everyone else is going for firmness, so you can see the tanking is coming in.
Wild charge onto 2, Kimpoi running away, Rindo. Not popping heavy spin just yet, tries to go for the retreat battle here against Chibi, but he wins it out. Chibi taking the second buff steal this game.
And he's actually a level ahead of Rindo up until this point. So in terms of neutral objective takes, Warlord gets committed onto, but nobody's able to cut him down just yet.
Chibi, Shield Unity again down below. Dominic caught right as he was trying to cut the wave and he would lose his life. It's Homebois who gets another kill on the board, but somehow, some way, Blacklist are still holding onto the quality of the goal. I mean, look at that. Homebois only have a 476 gold lead right now.
There's a farming difference right here, but you can see that for Blacklist, though. Whatever they're doing, Homebois have been able to counter. The wave cut was predicted. The roam top gets cancelled just because there's the Angela hard guard. The fact that WANWAN can outplay, can use a crossbow of Tang, and the hard guard can come in to ensure she survives long enough. This means that in the gold lane, even though you're susceptible to ganks, Homebois' gold lane right now is surprisingly, right, unexpectedly, quite immune to most of the ganks coming in from Blacklist, unless Kimpoi can make something crazy happen.
He is level 5. He does have to have the Divine Judgment in his arsenal right now, but with the turtle already at half HP, doesn't look like Blacklist International want to go for a contest. It looks like this is a ADP happening here, just a little bit, with them not trying to go for a counter engage on the neutral objective, but instead looking for a counter play down bottom.
Not able to find anything just for now. Kimpoi's really holding on to that Divine Judgment for the right time. He needs to find the right target as well, because let's say, right, he finds, let's say even he gets RAZIELL. If the team can follow that up with more dives, the aggression turns into really good defense and cover for the WANWAN. Say the Wild Charge to knock up the rest of the Blacklist members after Divine Judgment connects. That means there will be no follow-up.
Right, with everyone grouping together here, expect a fight to break out, but on who? That's the real question. The Angela on the other side of the map, making use of the global presence. But Blacklist, like you mentioned, is in damage control. They know they don't really want to let Homebois snowball. That is where they want to be. But Rindo is slowly but surely falling away in levels. 2 levels so far. Chibi might increase that gap to 3 levels, which means the neutral objective is even more difficult for Blacklist. They have to really be banking on that late game.
Like, you can even tell from the gold differences here in game equipment who's falling behind. And wait, what? Novaria with a 1,000 lead?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Warlord is actually swapped to Roamer. This is what we like to see actually when the Angela gets picked up by Homebois. It's Zorn on the Angela and Warlord actually to shift over to the Roam. Usually it's always on GROCK. Chibi though really doesn't like Rindo getting farmed. Going at it again for the 3rd possible invade, and he gets it with the Retribution as the turtle will spawn in 18 seconds.
You won't have it available for the turtle fight. That's the big concern, but Homebois can very easily just go for a fight right now. Owl might not know that Spot is just waiting in the wings.
Very aggressive maneuvers by Owl there. The Shield Unity connects, and Owl definitely overextended. I thought he saw Subplot up there.
Yes, he didn't. And the Warlord now still being a huge pain in Rindo's back. As the turtle gets taken, it might be uncontested. Blacklist just trying to get trades, but look at Homebois making plays all across the map, not bringing everyone to the same area, trying to dominate the whole of the Line of Dawn at the same time.
And it's not a problem because at any time, it's never a 1v1. Thorn can just hop in with the hard guard to make it a good backup from anyone who's being in a certain situation when they're in a bad spot, right? Even in this 1v1 that we see down bot with WANWAN and the Edith, at any time, Thorn can just pop in and help that lane out. And with that being said, Homebois has been able to get get really good control over these neutral objectives, the lanes as well as the matchups. As we take a look at the goal differences, once again, there's a certain distinction there.
I think there's also a lot to look at in the EXP lane. It's going to be an important 1v1 situation. Oh, look at that!
A full dive with a wild charge, a shield unity, everything in the kitchen sink, just throwing an owl. Another Petrify with a furious dive as well. My goodness, a lethal dive to the back, and they only lose their roamer.
The timing on that, man. There was no real objective here to contest after the big fight. It's only going to be turrets, so I guess Blacklist just wasn't ready. I was bringing up the fact that Dominic is actually falling away in levels to Sapat, who has 3 kills, but also a lot of farm funnel towards him from the mid lane. So the longer the game goes, if Blacklist wants to play this macro game, Sapat has a lot to say there in the 1v1 or possibly 1v2 situations when he's contesting the far side of the map.
But remember, it's only been 8 minutes. This is something that we saw when Blacklist was in a match against Rebellion Zion, where Rebellion Zion were able to pick up so many things in the early game and completely dominate that early game. But Blacklist International, with their mid and towards the late game power spike, they were able to regain control. With this composition, is it possible? I mean, they have the Novaria that definitely scales in the mid game, but what about the rest of the members on the team?
Even and the Brody, I mean the Bruno, sorry, they actually scaled very well into the late game. The real concern is the Kaja, perhaps, because like it's going to be very difficult to really find those pickoffs, and even then you have to deal with the Warlord just standing in your face. And now Blacklist, Windows tries to find something. Is he going to go for a steal?
It's a wild charge. Heavy spin used up by Rindo. Looking for a steal, but I don't think he has enough damage. That's a 1v5. Rindo just walks to his death. Sapat picks him up, and it's a free Lord. It's a nice try by Blacklist. They can only afford to lose one in the sacrifice, but definitely a bit ambitious.
Okay, so what was that?
What
was the plan there? Why did Rindo go all in on that?
I guess he's trying to make use of the Akai, right? He is, to be fair...
What are the odds that he gets it, though? How many levels below is he of Chibi right now? He's 2 levels below of Chibi still.
I think early it was 2. I don't know, it's between 2 or 3, depending on the time. And now he's even donating his purple buff to Haji. They're relying on the machine right here to try and make something happen. But look at their positioning, man. They might get cut off if they stick too long behind this first-tier turret in the mid lane.
Definitely weird. Very ambitious play, you know? Because, yeah, I mean, they could still sacrifice Rindo. Technically, he's still a utility jungler, right? Not a carry. They can afford to get him a death. But it was very, very... The odds that you were asking for, very close to impossible. Especially with 5 members and no real follow-up. Homebois now just utilizing that Lord and the free kill onto Rindo earlier to just capitalize even more, double down on these pushes. It's a 6.5k gold lead. Rindo's holding on to the Lord right there, not letting it crash in. Seems like Homebois are okay with that, though. They do not want to push it all the way anyways. They just want to go for tier 2s, and they'll be able to take down the final tier 2 in the mid lane to get themselves a 7,000 gold lead.
In 10 minutes. This is looking very similar to what we saw in the group stage. The Homebois were able to snowball and create a... It's funny how that seems like to be like a theme of today, isn't it? Snowball, death ball kind of strategy coming through. But for Blacklist, the way that we're usually accustomed to seeing is that they don't overstep like that. They stay patient, they look for trades on the other side of the map. They slowly build a support, a push onto these core members like Haji, as well as Owl. But that play from Rindo earlier doesn't seem in connect with that, which is why I thought that Blacklist would be a really good counter towards Homebois.
Maybe their idea is just that they can afford to lose Rindo, might as well try something when they're going to end up stuck in the base anyways. With the heavy spin, it's a possibility, but the red tree difference is where it's at. And I mean, Homebois did a great job just stopping doing any damage to the Lord and making sure that he gets taken out first. But now, I do feel like the hidden carry right here is Sapat on that Yuzong, man. He is the one just gnawing everyone down, munching on them with the Black Dragon form. RAZIELL is just waiting in the side, and this is why he doesn't really have to extend. They don't require him to be the main damage dealer, for now at least. So they can just chill, wait it out, and when Keyboy makes the play onto someone else, that means RAZIELL has full reign in what he wants to do in a team fight. And if there's a marksman you want in that position to be able to be creative, to be crazy in a team fight, it's RAZIELL, man. We've seen this guy do insane things.
He's been flashy on the Ixia. Not something you would actually try to relate together, right? Ixia and flashy plays, just usually a front to back type, very safe. But RAZIELL has been given the hyper carry treatment, both purple and orange given to him. He's the main carry as we transition from the mid stage to the late game, and Chibi just secures a Lord for free. That is the second Lord of the game this time around. Is going to be enhanced. Marching down the mid lane, and Homebois will try to look for the most out of this.
Look at the turret on the top side though, it gets taken out. Homebois were very respectful of Blacklist's potential to make a big brain play. Sorn was there, but he didn't want to walk up. You can see the respect still by Homebois. They know Blacklist are no pushover, and at 13 minutes, they don't have a lot of damage to work with, but it is available.
They're looking for a big fight. That's why they're not pushing all three waves. Just one in the mid lane with their Lord marching down. And with Chibi brought back to the team, he actually gets a shield unity. And in the back as well, Suppot finds a Furious Time, loses immortality. Also free hitting, but RAZIELL doing the same thing. Down with the crossbow, time ready. It goes, translates over. It's a double, it's a triple. It's a maniac for RAZIELL in game number 1. As they secure match point in a dominant fashion. What the heck? One wave.
Control. Complete control by the Homebois in that first game. Literally, like, complete control. Objectives, rotations, pickoffs, lanes.
Team fights?
Exactly.
Everything just went so well for them. If the base, the
Homebois
fountain wasn't there, if the front wasn't there, that was a savage. Haji barely made it because of the regeneration. RAZIELL just got it done. And that's a strat we've seen popularized. I think initially, the first time we saw it in this tournament, was it